Okay, so in this video I'm going to assemble StuffBySteve's Heart 2x2. This is a shapeways puzzle and it's basically a 2x2 shape mod. What you need to assemble this is just simply a keychain Eastsheen 2x2 and some super glue. Now since this is going to be a donor for the Heart 2x2, I ended up buying myself another keychain Eastsheen 2x2. You can see this is a bit different, the chain on it is different and the way the chain attaches to the cube is different as well. It's got like this this piece of black plastic there. So if I was going to use this for making the 2x2 shape mod, I'd have to try cutting this plastic piece off and it would just be too much hassle. So this type of Eastsheen 2x2 is much better for the for assembling the Heart 2x2, because all you need to do is to just unscrew this this little thing, and then the keychain parts come off, and there's no black plastic sticking out on the 2x2. You've just got a little hole there, which doesn't matter at all. So the glue that I'm going to use is this Gorilla super glue. I find it works really well. Most of the super glues that I've tried, not just for puzzles but for anything, they don't really seem to work well even as a normal glue, but this works really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel the stickers off this 2x2. And the reason why I'm doing this on an envelope is just to make sure that I don't get any glue on the carpet. So yeah, the stickers on this this 2x2, they started peeling straight away on the first day that I got it. The stickers on the other 2x2, they seem much more better. I've used the puzzle a lot and they've not peeled or chipped or anything. Yeah, these Eastsheen keychain 2x2s are not expensive at all. You can get them for around £2 or under, and the shipping is usually free as well if you're getting one from China. Peeling off these stickers is taking a lot longer than I thought it would do. Okay, so you might be able to see that some residue, some sticker residue that's being left on the 2x2. I don't want to leave it like that, because when I glue the pieces onto it, I don't want the pieces to actually be glued onto the residue, because then the bond isn't going to be that strong. So I'm not really sure what the best thing will be to use to get it off. I'm going to try some window cleaner. Okay, so I've got some window cleaner and I'm just going to spray a bit of this onto a microfiber cloth. It's a bit hard doing this because like the tripod is in the way. And hopefully this this sticker residue should come off. Really coming off that well. So it is coming off, but it's It's taking quite a while to get it off. It's not really coming off that well. Yeah, not really sure what else I could use. Okay, so it seems that all of the sticker residue has come off it now. Doesn't really feel tacky anymore. Can't see any residue on it. So let's start gluing these pieces onto the 2x2. Let's see. Okay. I think I completely had that out of shot then. I'm not actually looking through the viewfinder as I'm doing this because of where I'm sat. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that for a while to make sure it bonds properly. Can't believe that this piece has just fell off. It shouldn't have fell off like that. Not really sure why that has happened. Maybe the super glue is soaked into the Shapeways material and that's why it's not sticking that well. I think maybe it needs to be left for longer, I don't know. That's what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave it for longer and see what happens. Okay, so this has been left for around an hour now and the Shapeways plastic seems to have bonded properly to the 2x2, as you can see. It's not fallen off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue another piece onto this 2x2. I'll leave it for maybe 40 minutes, an hour, just to make sure that it's properly bonded, and then I'll glue another piece onto it, leave that for around 40 minutes to an hour, and so on. Because if I was to glue a piece onto the 2x2 and then glue another piece onto the 2x2 straight after, the piece that I had just glued onto it, it may end up getting moved out of place, or it might fall off or whatever. So I don't know, I guess maybe Shapeways plastic takes more longer to bond to normal plastic with super glue than if you were just kind of sticking two pieces of normal plastic together. Then again, maybe this piece fell off because I may have not dried the 2x2 properly. Maybe it still had some window cleaner on it, I'm not sure. So let's see. So this bit needs to go on there like that. So I'll hold it for 30 seconds. I'm going to move the cube as well like that, just to make sure that it doesn't actually get stuck together. Okay, so that's about 30 seconds. And I'll just leave this for maybe 40 minutes or whatever. Well, actually I'll just hold it in place for a bit longer, because I'm worried about, like when I put this down, I'm worried about this kind of moving out of place a bit if it's not properly bonded yet. So I'll just hold it for a bit longer. And I'll just place that down and leave it for around 40 minutes. Okay, so I left it for around 20 minutes this time, and it seems to have bonded well enough. The piece isn't moving out of place or coming off or anything like that, so I guess I don't need to leave it for as long as an hour to bond properly. So what I'll do is, every time I glue a piece onto this, I'll leave it for 20 minutes and then glue another piece onto it. Before properly playing with this, you know, once I've glued all the pieces onto it, I'll probably leave it for 24 hours just to make sure that the glue has properly, fully bonded. Okay, so that's one layer complete. Now to do the next layer. So when this puzzle is fully assembled and it's in its solved state, this 2x2 cart is going to be turned like that. As you can see, now when I put the pieces on, they match up with this bottom layer. Want to make sure that is definitely going to be in the right position. Yeah, I didn't want to get these two mixed up, you see. Yeah, you do need to be careful that you put these on the right way, because obviously since this kind of comes to a small point, like a sharp point, that's probably the right way that they're supposed to be on the puzzle, like that. Whereas if you have them this way around instead, although they should fit on the puzzle, it just kind of looks wrong, you know, and the point is not as sharp. So obviously they need to go into the puzzle this way. Okay, so the last piece. So yeah, you do need to be careful when assembling this puzzle, because like I said, these two pieces could easily be swapped over with each other, and these two pieces could easily be swapped over with each other as well. Okay, so the Heart 2x2 is now fully assembled. I left it for several hours before messing around with it, just to make sure that the glue had properly cured. And I've been messing around with this for a long time, and none of the parts have fell off it. I've even pulled at some of the parts, just to, not that hard, but you know, just to make sure that they are properly stuck down, and they are properly stuck down. So I don't think any of these pieces are going to fall off the puzzle anytime soon. I was a bit worried when I first started gluing this, because after holding a piece onto the Eastsheen 2x2 for around 30 seconds and I let go, it just fell off. And usually with that Gorilla super glue, if I hold something together for 30 seconds and let go, it's properly bonded. So I was a bit worried that maybe the glue wasn't going to bond this Shapeways plastic to the Eastsheen plastic that well, but it has done. So you can finger trick this, but it's kind of awkward because of the shape. It's not meant to be a speed cube anyway, so it's not a big deal or anything. It doesn't corner cut at all, and that's because at its core it's an Eastsheen 2x2. Eastsheen 2x2s and 4x4s just don't corner cut at all. I'll show you how the size of it compares to a regular sized 2x2. So when you look at it this way, it looks pretty much the same size as a regular sized 2x2, but when you turn it like this, the depth of this is about the same size as a cuba on a regular sized 2x2. So yeah, I've messed around with this puzzle for ages. I've been scrambling it and solving it. I've only managed to solve it probably around 3 or 4 times. Most of the time I can't actually solve it. I just find it to be a really tricky puzzle. You know, I look at the puzzle when it's scrambled and I think, okay, I've got a certain case, you know, I can imagine what it would look like if it was a regular 2x2, so I need to do this particular algorithm to get it to another state, and when I do the algorithm it doesn't actually work, which doesn't make any sense. So it's kind of confusing. It is a really tricky 2x2 shape mod this. It's weird because I find most 3x3 shape mods really easy to solve, but I find most 2x2 shape mods very tricky to solve. I think it's because when I solve 3x3 shape mods I use the beginner's method for solving the 3x3, whereas when I solve 2x2 shape mods I use the advanced method, I can't use the beginner's method because I've forgotten the beginner's method for the 2x2. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell if it will show up on camera, but you've got like lines on a lot of the pieces. And that's basic. They're basically 3D printing errors. There's not really much you can do about it, to be honest. Pretty much any Shapeways puzzle that you buy, it's going to have at least 2 or 3 pieces which have 3D printing errors. So it is a shame, but it's not always that. I mean, right now looking at it, it's quite noticeable, but depending on the lighting and the angle that you're holding it at, sometimes it's not really noticeable at all. So yeah, so when it's in its solved state, you can turn it this way, but you can't turn it by these cuts, or these cuts. And the reason why is because they're not lining up. To be able to turn it by these cuts, you need to line them up like that. So now you can see they're all lined up and you can turn it. And that's because this is its true solved state. Obviously, if you can't actually turn it by any of these cuts, then it's not in its true solved state. And in the Eastsheen 2x2 inside, it's not actually solved when the puzzle is like this. I showed it before when I was doing the assembly. When the cube is like this, one of the layers on the Eastsheen 2x2 is not flush with the other. When you turn it like this, then the Eastsheen 2x2 inside it is properly solved. So it's quite an interesting puzzle. Yeah, I guess the only thing left to do now is to give it a scramble. So basically the only way I've managed to solve this when I've solved it is just kind of by luck, really. Obviously not purely by luck. To solve this puzzle by just making random turns would be extremely unlikely. The chance of it happening would be really, really small. So obviously it's a combination of basically skill and luck. Most of the time though, I cannot solve this at all. So these are still for sale on Shapeways. And I guess you could call that fully scrambled. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.